Hey everyone, my name is Brianna Atley, and this is my TED type video. Um, as I was going through and kind of pondering on different ideas and different things about education that I wanted to talk about, there were a lot of things that came up. Not having enough instructional time due to other activities and specials, trying to find a way to master Common Core, and some of the things that go along with that. But one thing that kind of kept coming back the more I talked with other teachers and the more I pondered and tried to do some research was um, the issue of language in the United States right now. And one thing that's kind of near and dear to my heart, especially this year, is the fact that we have created this thing called Common Core in an attempt to become a more global competitor in terms of education. And yet, the one thing that our country has always seemed to lack or not do a very good job of is to deal with the issues of languages in the United States. We are one of the few countries that do not have an official language, and yet everything that we do and everything that we publish and print and read focuses on English acquisition. Our country was built on immigrants and people coming from other countries, and we don't seem to honor or respect that in terms of using those languages in everyday activities, using them in the classroom, things like that. We tend to, especially in the elementary level, tend to focus more on making those children become English speakers, focusing on their English language acquisition versus their biliteracy or their bilingual abilities in the classroom and then again in the real world. This has kind of spoken to me really deeply this year because I have a new student this year who came to the United States 2 weeks before the beginning of school. He moved from Mexico to the United States to be with family and speaks no English, or at least at the time that he came to us. Everything that we've done since the beginning of the year has been in English for the most part. Within 2 weeks of beginning school, he had to take our standardized NWEA or MAP testing tests in English. The poor kiddo had not even been shown or had use of a computer when he came to us from Mexico. So that in and of itself was a learning curve. We had data meetings on this child based on his poor scores on those tests, which were unfair because of the fact, again, he does not speak the language. A lot of countries, especially in Europe, nearly all of them require at some point that students learn or master at least one additional language besides their home country language, and that usually begins around the age of what we would consider preschool or kindergarten. And we here in the United States, for the most part, in our public school systems, don't offer or encourage that until middle school or high school. A lot of studies and research has been shown that language acquisition happens much sooner, and we're kind of hindering our kids in the abilities to be able to learn and acquire a second language that would make them more viable in a global market or even in a global economy or even in our own neighborhoods by not allowing them to have those resources and have those experiences until later on in life. So one of the things that I think is really kind of something that we're lacking or that we need to kind of take a look at and consider is what we are doing for those kids who come to us with another language. And what are we doing to encourage our monolingual children to be more global and to learn other languages and not just the Spanish and French that have been around for a very long time. Things like German and Chinese have kind of gone by the wayside unless you put the money out to go to a private institution to learn those languages and to acquire those skills. And that's something that I think definitely needs to be thought about and talked about and changed, not just how we are doing in math and science in order to become a more competitive member in the global society that we are. Thank you. I hope that kind of sparks some interest and conversation among you and some of your colleagues as well. Have a great day.